know.
Peace, Black Power, Ashe, Hotep. Um, Today's class, I'm going to be teaching Black history this month. I wanted to make sure that, I got all the suckers and pseudo scholars and teachers out the way for the first half of the year and for the first half of this month. So I just wanted to make sure that there was nobody out there trying to teach on what I was teaching on or whatever, or that there was nobody already out there teaching. So as I said before, I'm here just to, to make sure that my people get the right information and the right education they need to be taught to Black melanin people in this day and time in 2016. So I'm Meterw Heru, and I will be teaching on one of the great Black pioneers of our time and leaders and front runners of prosperity to our people, and it is the one and only Nat Mother Turner. So without further delay, I get into my class and I begin. So this Black History Month, I want to start my lessons off with a very important person named Nat Turner. This is a man who he himself gave his own confession about the things that he'd done to the people that he'd done the things to. And it's very important that we understand the reason why he said what he said and the reason why he done what he had done or did at the time of the things that was going on while he was giving out this confession. And people like to ask all the time, like, who is Nat Turner and stuff like that. And I want people to understand is that it's very, 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 very significant to the things that have to be put in place for us in order for us to achieve and for us to overcome certain understandings of stories and certain things. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that we get to a point to where things start to come more common. Like we start to recite these stories to anybody that we're having a conversation to, and they become an important factor base in our lives to have this information, okay, to make moves and to do certain things because of the information that you have. And the information about Nat Turner is very important because it starts off in the beginning of the 1800s, and which is the date he was born, October the 2nd. He was a person born into slavery. I guess you would say that type of information, but I would say that he was a person that was born into kidnappivity. He was a child that was born into a situation where people were kidnapped and abused and done horrible things to. And in this story, he's going to explain some of the things that happened to him also. So it will give you a sense of how life was for him and also for other people at the time when he's giving this story out. So what I want to do is, go more in depth into some more things about Nat Turner, some things that people may know and some things that people may not know. Nat Turner was born in Southampton County, Virginia, USA. Virginia is anonymous for slavery type trade and stuff like that, and all kind of oppression and racist type of things going on in Virginia. He also was executed and hung for the things that he participated in through an actual court system. So they didn't actually lynch him. They actually took him to court and then executed him and hung him. because of the things that he done. So it is a court case. It's not just like something that just happened and there was no record of it and it's not real. It actually happened in the United States of America, where something went down and somebody went to court for it, and it was typed down on paper as far as what the recorders do, or the clerk, the people who type down everything that you say in a courtroom. These clerks or someone or a lawyer who's writing down your affidavit of statement, the things that you give off, or what they call your admittment statement, that you admit to something, or however your conviction statement. Okay, and you know, they wrote down everything that he said to them. So we're going to get into that. He said these things, so it's not like I'm making up anything. I'm going to be reading the actual court papers of Nat Turner's confessions, which I have right here on my laptop. I have the actual Nat Turner confession paper, court paper, that they had at the courtroom office in Virginia, when they was doing what they had to do to him. Okay, and this is the Confessions of Nat Turner. I'm starting at a certain page in the court records so that you can, you know, hear him from his very own words about what happened. So that's going to be very interesting too, to hear exactly what Nat Turner said about what was going on and what happened to him. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to make sure that you understand or understand the significance of why it's very important for us to represent and know about Nat Turner during this time, which they have established as Black History Month, or Black Our History Month. Okay, so to start off, what I want to do is I want to start off with the information that was given from other people about the situation that was going on. And one of the information that was given was that Nat Turner's description of what type of person he was and how he looked. And one thing they said, that his ethnicity was, he was an African American. Another description of him was his actual size and height, or whatever I guess you can say. He was described as being 5'6", 8 inches high, weight between 150, 160 pounds. He was a rather bright complexion, but he was not a mulatto. So we have to remember that that Nat Turner was a light-skinned nigga. That's right, I said it. And what? I say it again. Nat Turner was a light-skinned nigga, but he was not a mulatto. So don't get him confused. If anybody say that he was light-skinned and all that other, he was not a half-breed. He was a pure black, light-skinned man. And we're going to get into the DNA of those guys or whatever later on in another form, when we're starting to deal with the race and DNA code of the different Europeans, and the hybrid breeds of albino races. Okay? But it also says that he had a large flat nose, so that gives him his African identity of his large flat nose. He had large eyes and broad flat feet, and you know, so it just goes to show you that he wasn't all around African in feature. So one thing we're going to get into is how his situation became so dire that it had to have something done for people to take notice, in order for me to be explaining the story to you today. So one of the main topics we want to get into would be him doing the things that he done. Okay, and the main story is that that Nat Turner was a black man who led a rebellion in Virginia, Southampton, Virginia, in 1831,
where he went to different plantations where there were different slaves and different